Hey people, welcome back to the channel. This is Alimadbet and here we talk everything movies. Today we are going to be doing one of the most it's not one of, it is the most anticipated film of 2023 or most anticipated Nigerian film of 2023. I mean, personally, I've been anticipating this movie since 2021 for 2 good years now, and seeing it come to life, I mean, it is something to behold, right? So yeah, we are going to be talking everything Gangs of Lagos in this video. I am not going to be dropping spoilers because I know that a lot of people have not had time to watch the movie. It just came out yesterday, so yeah, a lot of people have not seen it. So this is just going to be breakdown of cast, storyline, what I think about it, what I liked, what I did not like, but I will not be delving into the main stuff, right? Maybe in a week I could come back and do something about the entire story or not. Who knows? Let's just get right into this video. So Gangs of Lagos is a movie by Jade Osiberu. A lot of people were mistaking Gangs of Lagos for Brotherhood because I mean she started posting about both of them around the same time, even though Gangs of Lagos was filmed before Brotherhood, and I mean Brotherhood came out before it. Considering the fact that it was Jade Osiberu that produced Brotherhood and she directed Gangs of Lagos, and there's a major face in both films. That's Tobi Bakre. He was in Gangs of Lagos, and I mean he's in Gangs of Lagos, and he was also in Brotherhood, and he was even the major character in both films. Yeah, the movie is about three friends. We have Obalola, we have Ifi, that's Ifeanyi, and we have Gift. They are three friends. They've been friends since childhood, and they are street kids, right? They grew up on the streets. They had ambitions, but they started off as street kids, stealing on the road, and they live in Isale Eko, that's Lagos Island. They live in Isale Eko. So Isale Eko is portrayed to be a place where not all dreams come true. Like a lot of dreams don't come true. A lot of kids turn out to be street kids. They turn out to be eruku, that's thugs, right? A lot of kids just live off petty thefts, drug dealing, or maybe after they've grown into like a better thug, right? Then they delve into politics basically. So yeah, it is the story of Obalola. Obalola is a kid that was born into a family of third grade basically because his father was a street king, and then after his father was, or when he was born, he was told that he wasn't going to live long and all that. So there were a lot of prophecy over him, right? That he wasn't going to live long, was going to become a street king like his father and all of that. So yeah, and then we see the progression of how they started off as kids, how they grew up, and what they became in the future. So the movie is in three parts, right? There is the beginning, that is introduction of the character, that is getting to meet Obalola as a child. His real name was Akonde in the film, but he named himself Obalola, or that's what people used to call him because they thought he was going to be a street king. So Oba, which means king, so like a future king basically. Yeah, so there's Obalola, which the children characters were played by the Korodu boys. If you know them, they do like comedy skits and all of that. And then the older characters were played by Tobi Bakre plays Obalola, Chike the artist, he plays Ifeanyi, and Adesua Etomi plays Gifts in the film. So these three friends, we see them, start off by stealing off people, putting knife on the neck, give me your bag, yada, yada, on the streets of Lagos Island, and then we see them grow into adults that are also going to become eruku. Those are thugs, right? Collect money from people, cause trouble here and there a little bit. They weren't like so violent at first, but they would do. I mean, they were violent actually. They were violent. Sorry, they were violent, but they weren't like killing people. All of that. They had bosses who would do that, right? And then we now see the revenge part. So those are like the three parts that the movie was split into, right? So they deployed the use of storytelling. There was a storyteller who was Tobi Bakre, obviously, because he is the main character. So he's the one telling us the story from beginning to end. So it's like he's telling the story and we're watching it, happen. Right. So that's how it was. I really love the use of storytelling in this film. I think it was perfect. And then there's this subtleness that came with his voice. I mean, if you know Tobi Bakre as a person or like on social media, you will know that like he's a very subtle person. Like he has this very calmness that comes with him. So yeah, and he brought that into the storytelling in the film, and I really liked it. I enjoyed listening to that part of the film. The casting, I think the casting was perfect. I can't even lie. I loved everything about the cast. Like there are people that I felt like, oh, maybe they wouldn't fit in well, but I saw them in this film and I was like, whoa, okay. I mean, I saw Zlatan. I'm like, okay, love it, love it. I saw when Wasiu Alabi Pasuma, he was also in the film. Olarotimi Fakunle was also in the film. And that's why Tommy Chike. I was actually very skeptical about seeing Chike play the role he was playing because I mean he's one of the three friends, right? And I was like, can she be a gang guy, right? Like I wasn't really sure about that. But yeah, because of the role he plays, I think he did really, really well. I really loved him. He played this sweet iffy boy, and he was just sweet. He didn't want problems, he just want to, grow as an artist, become a big artist in the future, like Two Face and all of that. So yeah, I think they were perfect for their roles. I mean, we've seen Adesua play a very, kind of action role before. We saw that in King of Boys. I mean, it wasn't like she was being violent, but yeah, we've seen her, in that light before. Tobi Bakre was in Brotherhood and he delivered. We know Toby to be a stunt guy. He's the Will Smith of our generation. So yeah, I mean, I didn't have any doubts about that. It was a star-studded cast. We had Eniola Badmus, we had Chioma Akoptha, we had Tony Abraham, we had Yabo Joe, we had Yemoli. I also didn't think, Yemoli was going to do as he did. We had Olarotimi Fakunle, Tayo Faniran, we had Bimbo Ademoye. The cast was packed. And as much as I'm always like, I don't like it when a lot of stars are in a film. I feel like sometimes they lose, it lose its essence, right? But I think that everybody was fit for their role. Like they weren't too much, they weren't less, they were just good, right? I really like that about the cast. I think the casting director took their time to fish out, oh, this is good for this, that is good for that, and I really like that about the film. The story they were trying to tell is a story of three friends in Lagos and how they grow. There was politics in it. I mean, politics was like the major play in the film. There was revenge, there was betrayal, there was friendship, there was family. So yeah, I really like that every element of the film was spelt out, right? When it is revenge, you know that this is what is happening. There was no point in time where the message they were passing across was not clear. It was very clear, it was precise, and it was direct. Now, for me to say it was direct, you would think that this movie is short, but no, it runs for over 2 hours, like 2 hours, 9 minutes or thereabouts. But for every minute you spend watching this film, it is worth it, right? I really loved it, guys. I really, really loved it. The action was given, though though there was the sound that they were putting, when they are fighting, and all those push push push, it was giving me intense ASMR kind of vibe, right? It was giving violent ASMR. But yeah, I mean, we've seen that in a lot of American films, we've seen that like play out in a lot of films, so I didn't really have an issue with it. It just didn't sound very genuine as much. But yeah, it wasn't bad. I liked that. I liked, I don't know, I liked everything. I liked the setting. Oh yeah, I need to point out the setting. I like the setting. It was definitely giving Isale Eko. It was giving, clumsy houses, out streets that was just jam packed. If you've been to Lagos Island, like that everywhere in Lagos Island is a ghetto. It just everything just jump pack, jump pack, jump pack, jump pack, jump pack. The streets are not defined safe. From one street you have entered another place. From one place you have entered. That's how Lagos Island. Their houses is like slices, right? So yeah, I like that it was very definitive also. One thing that I would have really liked was when what's his name, Tobi Bakre took me by Ademoye to our new apartment. I would have really liked if they gave us, an overview of the house, or like a full view of the house, because he kept mentioning, oh, the house is very big. How is she going to live here alone? But we didn't exactly see the house, right? Just felt like to emphasize on the kind of wealth that Kazim has and Kazim is willing to spend on his child, I think they would have shown more of, the house, right? I mean, if you've not seen it, you probably cannot relate to that yet. But yeah, that's that about that. What else do I think about this film? I've talked. Oh, the soundtracks, guys. You know me. I'm a big fan of soundtracks, and I think the soundtracks were good. It's also a Yoruba speaking film. Like Yoruba was the major language that is spoken in this film. So if you're not a Yoruba speaking person, you might not really enjoy watching it. Having to like deal with subtitles and all of that. But yeah, if I mean you have to watch it. It's like a must watch. It is a must watch. I really like the film. I like the acting. I like the story. I like the cast. I like the setting. I like literally everything about it. I don't want to give spoilers. It's really hard. I want to say something, but whatever I want to say, like I have to say, what happened. And I'm really fighting back on that. But yeah, I think it's a good film. It's a really good film. And it also has a potential of a sequel, right? The way it ended, it has the potential of having a sequel. Because I can already imagine like some stories that they can come up with if they wanted to do a sequel, or some, themes that could come up if they wanted to do a sequel. So yeah, it's a good film. Should you watch it 100%? What am I going to rate it? I think I'm going to rate it a good 9. So my brother-in-law called me yesterday night when he was watching. I was like, Halima, if you rate this thing anything less than a 10, we're going to fight. And I'm like, I'm not gonna rate it a 10 because 10 is for God. Because 10 is for God. But yeah, Gangs of Lagos is a really good film. And I didn't expect less from Jade Osiberu, to be honest. I don't expect less from a lot of women in the movie industry, to be honest. I mean, look at Jade Osiberu, look at Kemi Adesua, look at Funke Akindele, look at Biodun Steven. These are women that they are breaking boundaries in the movie, and they are doing amazing, amazing stuff. Like these are my people. When I hear, oh, this person directed this film, I'm always so excited to watch it because I just know that there would be a really good, story to tell. They always have good story to tell. So yeah, that's that about that. Though I do feel like Toya Imaku's character could have worked well with Funke Akindele. I don't know. I'm not saying she was a bad fit. I just feel like Funke Akindele could have acted, that role way better. Yeah, or I would have loved to see her act that role because I think she would body it, right? And a lot of people are even angry. Guys, a lot of people are angry on the social media that Toya Amaku is playing their role because they're like, oh, it's a contrast to what she actually supports in real life. But I mean, a role is a role, it's a film. I really don't, I'm really not concerned about her personal views and, the role she plays in this film. It really doesn't. I don't think there should be a correlation to it, even though I understand where a lot of people are coming from. But yeah, that's just their point of view, and it's just my own point of view. And I think this is all I have to say on this film. You're gonna have to wait till the one where I spill the beans so we can, interact more. But if you've seen Gangs of Lagos, I want to know what was the highlight for you in this film. Mine was it was storytelling. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the story. Like I really love the story. And I think plot progression also because I like that they took us through stages, right? There's this stage, there is this stage, and then there's this stage. I really like that. So if you've seen Gangs of Lagos, what do you think about it? What was your favorite part about the film? What are you going to rate it? I mean, if you were to review it or if you were to like recommend it to somebody, what are you going to rate it to that person? I want to read from you. I want to hear what you have to say. And I'm gonna say bye. See you guys in my next video.